Hey guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. So we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR, episode 222, with my favorite people in the whole wide world. J to the Mace, aka the Gaffer, aka I feel like you have many nicknames, man, but I can't come up with them, man. But yeah, Mace, man.
Age Mace, Mr. Walk Through Walls. Come on, man. What are we doing here, bro? Put some respect on my boy's name, man. Come on,
That is funny.
Man, I walk through walls. And of course, we got the Shoreditch Bandit himself, Chocolate Boy T himself, the
Always
Toxic
active,
Gooner
man.
himself.
We take L's and we still
Blink,
pull
blink.
up, man. We don't run. We don't run from the grinds. We don't run from learning ball. We go again, man.
I love that. Yeah, man. How you guys doing, man?
Good.
Been better, man. Been better. Wasn't expecting the state of the title to look like this in Feb. Can't lie. Even with the state of Arsenal, I was hoping it will be a bit of a nail biter, but it's looking like a bit of a lead balloon, man. At this stage, isn't it, man? Bar a miracle. So yeah, definitely very anticlimactic right now, man.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, man. We'll touch on, man. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, toast.
Saying this.
Hey, Big Orisa first birthday, man, on Saturday. J Mace, man. How was that?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was nice to see. You know what's funny? When they were giving us the presents, they were giving it to us, saying happy 1 year to us as your parent, because you survived 1 year of a kid. And I was like, actually, yeah, that's true, you know. It's I'm lacking the word to describe it, but it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, it was good. It's good to see everyone. Good to see
The first
ground.
birthday, it's never about a kid. It's always about the parents.
Facts. I doubt they even remember it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like them, they don't. I swear they don't even remember it. Their birthdays until what, like 3, 4, or something like that. So yeah, man. These ones are just a myth, man. So yeah, man. Hey, man. Congrats, Mace, man. Love to see it, my bro.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, we're here.
Love to see it, man. And you know, obviously we got Shalom's kids' anniversary, but we got our own anniversary, and obviously apologies for us not being, we've been in a podcast space for a minute, but we've not really been, how do I pull it? We've been poor with the admin stuff and getting our P's and Q's in order. Let me put it that way. But obviously, on the 27th of January 2020, so this was before COVID, before lockdown, before everything, we started the VARBAR. It was about 10 of us, 10 or 11 of us. We dropped our very first episode, recording via Zoom, hella crap.
That was funny.
No mix. It was just like 10 man just screaming and shouting. No knowledge.
The funny thing. The funny thing, just whilst you were saying that, I was gonna do like a little game to come up with like 5 highlights we remember from the pod. If you guys have any highlights, I was gonna say
I just a lot,
Well, I was gonna say chat with the Maguire shout. That was funny.
Yeah.
Julian, what did he say? Was it
Wan-Bissaka to attacking? Julian, man, you nearly got me banished from the whole friendship group. Bringing you in, man. Don't do that again.
What else?
I think one of the ones that were like that a lot of people will remember you for, specifically Shalom. Obviously, like you're known for making the outrageous shouts initially, but then when time passes, it's like, oh, okay, we see what Shalom is saying. And I think one of them was when we did the young player draft, and you was putting in Emil Smith Rowe in your team, and everyone was like, Emil Smith Rowe of everyone. But then Emil Smith Rowe, I think the season after that, he kept on doing a job basically. So I definitely remember that part because people were ridiculing you.
I mean, on the flip side, obviously you got to give Mace his props, but on the flip side, one of my funniest memories in it was one of the live shows we did. Obviously, everyone had to do their World 11, and Mace, do you remember what your front three was? I think it was something like Ryan Giggs, Benny McCarthy,
and Mahrez and Benny, bro.
I mean, out of all the countries, all the players in the history of the
Listen,
world,
bro,
you're gonna
like
pick
I keep saying,
that front
those
three
three, those three are Champions League winners, bro. So you can't say nothing to me.
winners,
man.
You can't say
Bro,
nothing. To me.
man,
But that
pick
was
that
funny.
front three with no gun to his head, man. That is the craziest thing. Man. That is crazy.
Nah, that's funny, man.
But-
Nah, we've had some good moments, man. Good moments.
For
But
sure, man.
obviously,
On that note, someone said they watch who? Was it Pele or Maradona play?
yeah, Toast.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
Toast.
You know I've been doing this a long time, man. You know I've been doing this a long
Come
time,
on, man.
boy.
You ain't never seen Maradona live in the flesh, man.
I seen the VHS tapes, man. Don't watch that, my boy.
Nah, but we actually started this with like 10, 11 people. Obviously, later on, Strizza joined us, and then who joined first? Jake or Strizza? I think Jake. Yeah.
Wait.
I can't remember.
Wait.
I think Jake
Striz,
joined.
no,
before.
Striz did. Striz
I
did.
can't remember.
Yeah, Striz. I think Striz. Yeah.
Striz did. Striz
And
did.
then Jake. Yeah. And then Jake. So shout out Jake, of course. Striz is still a member, of course. It's just 4 left. So we're still going strong. Yeah, man. You know what I'm happy about though? That ever since we started VARBAR and the group chat and talking ball, none of my ops have won anything significant. And that's what I'm happy about. That I haven't felt pain seeing United win anything significant, see Arsenal win anything significant. I think Chelsea won yeah.
For Arsenal, this is normal. Mace, we ain't won nothing since the social media era, bro. I mean, we won FA Cups, but I mean, we ain't won like a big ears or a league since, bro. Not one Arsenal fan has ever
don't get
tweeted.
triggered early,
We won
bro.
the league.
Yeah,
man,
nah.
bro.
I'm just saying. I'm happy about that. You get me? Like, you know what I mean? In this era, Liverpool have kind of been one of the top teams and winning stuff. So yeah, happy about that, man. But yeah, for every moment, every episode had its own story. It was special. Just wanted to shout out every single former member, of course, who were part of this. Obviously, without you guys, we wouldn't have got to 222 episodes. Of course, we know we need to do way more to grow. And hopefully the next 5 years we will get to where we want to be, man. And that's what we're working on right now, man. So shout out to the first-time listeners, shout out to the one-time listeners, shout out to the part-time listeners, shout out to the certified listeners, most of all possibly 40 to 50 of you. Shout out to you guys for sticking with us, man, because even having 40 to 50 listeners and being to 222 episodes, no matter what people say, it's a huge thing because not many podcasts last this long and have this amount of listeners in it. So yeah, shout out us, man, and thank you for sticking with us.
I agree, man. I wanna piggyback off that, man. Definitely just want to shout out obviously all of the core listeners, the core supporters, the ones that always like check in, send messages, send feedback consistently. Do you know what I mean? And saying they can't wait for the next episode. Definitely keeps us going, man. And obviously we definitely want to shout you guys out who have kind of been there from the jump, man. So yeah, much appreciated. And obviously more great football content to come, man. Inshallah.
Yeah, man. Inshallah. Any last words, Mace?
Just listen to us, bro. That's all I can say.
Mace just happy to be here. He just out here. Nah, man. Mace valuable member, man. But yeah, man. More growth and prosperity for the VARBAR podcast, man. But let's get into the shits, man, because if last week was meant to be the start of Liverpool's collapse, then this weekend, and West Ham in particular, we have to think West Ham are huge. They're a huge member of this particular, throwing a huge spanner into the works in this particular game week that just went on the way. Obviously, Liverpool played on Wednesday. We played our match that we was meant to play in 3 weeks' time against Villa. We dropped points. Obviously, at that time, it could be looked at actual drop points. I mean, I remember even me saying that, we don't know yet. I don't know yet if it's drop points because Villa taking a point from Villa away, only Arsenal have beaten Villa at their ground this season, and they've played big teams. So, it can be seen as a good point, but we need to see what Arsenal does against Chelsea in a couple of weeks' time, but specifically this weekend, isn't it? But it was kind of a foregone conclusion that Arsenal would deal with West Ham at the Emirates, but it was far from that. Arsenal, I mean, I think if you won that game, and then if you won the game against Chelsea, then it would have
Forest.
cut the gap to
Forest.
5 points, right? No, not Forest. Chelsea, the game in hand. Then it would have
Got
meant
you,
that
got you,
you're
got you. Yeah.
5 points behind Liverpool, right? Knowing that you have to come to Anfield,
Mm.
it kind of would have been semi in your hands, innit? Like the title with it. So I felt like this was a huge weekend specifically for Arsenal to like apply the pressure, specifically with Liverpool playing City away. But let me go to you, Toes. You can kick it off actually. Like knowing what was potentially at stake, why do you think that Arsenal was so lackluster against West Ham at home? Like why? Do you think?
I mean, there's a multitude of reasons, man. But I honestly just think Arsenal are at a stage where it's not even a fair fight anymore, man. Just in terms of this, the title race, or what was the title race, man. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we know that the situation going on with our front four, our attackers. Obviously, Saka out. Obviously, semi long term. Havertz, who we obviously don't love, but obviously he is our starting 9 out for the season. Jesus out for the season. Martinelli obviously starting winger. So that's essentially our starting front 3 out. And again, this is not obviously me making excuses, but obviously just trying to provide some perspective and solace for obviously Arsenal fans, understanding that we obviously I think it was the Leicester game, I think, that kind of gave Arsenal some kind of full sense of security, full sense of hope, because I don't think people would have gone into the West Ham game thinking that the win was a foregone conclusion if we hadn't beaten Leicester. If we're really honest with ourselves, 80 minutes of that Leicester game from an offensive standpoint was not very good. From a chance creation standpoint, from a fluidity and attack standpoint, just from where is the goal going to come from standpoint. And Merino, to his credit, scored 2 really good goals against Leicester, and a lot of people were like, okay, cool, we have like almost a false 9 here. Let's go into this game and let's get a win. But we have to understand that West Ham themselves obviously underachieving this season. They've obviously kind of got a new manager in. Bowen, their captain, talisman, best players, just come back from injury 1 game prior, and they don't really fear Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like, for some reason, we always seem to do damage at the London Stadium, but for the last couple of seasons, they've kind of had our numbers. You know what I mean? Last season, they beat us 2-0. So they came into this game with confidence, and that's kind of how the game played out, if I'm honest. Like, we had 2 shots on target. It was not a clinic by any stretch of the imagination for an all or nothing sort of game. Like, it was just like a lead balloon, man. There was like no energy in the stadium. There was no energy from the players. Again, that lack of invention in attack. And I think what kind of has probably puzzled me the most is, I think this is probably why I got it so wrong pre-season as well. I've given a lot of these players and I've given this team a lot more credit than they probably actually deserve, because on paper, with the front 3 that we've kind of got, we've had to go into games with in the last couple of weeks, like, this front 3 is no better than a mid-table team's front 3, and that's no disrespect to Merino, Ranieri, and Trossard. But I'm just trying to keep some perspective in terms of, but Ranieri maybe in a few years. These aren't players that you would start in a typical front 3. Do you know what I mean? So from a scoring perspective, I knew it was going to be a very tricky game, but my biggest frustration really in the last couple of weeks is, this is the personnel you have. Like, I would like to have seen a bit more invention from the training ground to say, you know what, this is all we have. So we need to come out by hook or by crook and get a result. And let's not play the game like it's on paper. Like, let's not play with the fact that, oh yeah, we do have our second string strikers. Let's really go for it. Let's really attack. So why are you telling me that Calafiori is one of our 2 shots on target in the game? For me, that's just not acceptable. And for me, from the start of the game to the finish of the game, we set the tone for how the game was really gonna go, And like, I understand we had a man sent off, and again, like, initially, obviously, when I first watched it, I have no obviously debate about it being a red card. In terms of it being a professional foul, absolutely, Kudus will be 1-on-1 with the goalie. But obviously, having seen replays of it, I've actually come to understand that the decision could have actually gone Arsenal's way. When you actually look at it, Kudus actually did elbow Miles Kelly, and if that had been seen, then a foul could have been given in our favor, and another decision could have come out of that. But again, for me, this game was not won or lost by the red card, and I think we have to accept that because we were obviously a goal down at that point. It's just,
Can I ask you a question? Because obviously, you started this by saying that you know, the Leicester game gave you guys a false sense of security because obviously the game that you played there wasn't that good, and obviously Merino came on as a striker, scored 2 goals. Me personally, but I don't know how Arsenal fans felt when I saw the lineup. I was surprised to see Merino start as the striker,
as a 9. Yeah,
yeah, I was surprised because I felt like I kind of predicted that this is how the game was gonna go if he was to start the game. I think Merino, if you're gonna use him as a 9, impact, same as what happened in Leicester, because it will be a total different ball game for Leicester. For
it was a little predictable.
Sterling,
exactly,
agree. It's predictable. I think that's what killed, and I think that's probably Arteta is to blame for that because you can be like, you know, Sterling had a woeful game. I understand. Woeful, but it's still Raheem in it, and you still got your defense. You're not gonna give West Ham too many chances. They didn't need that many chances to score anyway. But I feel like if we had the same 11 that you played against Leicester, did the same thing, maybe you could have nicked a draw or maybe a win that way.
Do you know what it is, Andy? For me, I agree that Arteta should kind of take some blame, but I also kind of understand why he did it, just from the sense of we were lacking a bit of creativity. We were lacking, let me say creativity, we were lacking spark at the end of that Leicester game. And then Merino with 2 really good finishes, like really good awareness, really watched the ball come down and headed it rather than just kind of rushed it and let it hit his shoulder. Really good finish. And then very nice controlled finish for the second goal. I think with Arteta, it was a case of, I'm going to try and wrap this genie in a bottle and transfer it into the next game. I agree that if it had worked, everyone would have said it's genius and we have our false 9 for the rest of the season. And if it didn't work, and I don't want to say Merino had a bad game, it wasn't his natural position, but it's fair to say he was ineffective. If it didn't work, then it's like, Arteta, you probably should have just gone with a more natural born attacker in Sterling. I mean, but man, like in a way, I also feel bad for Arteta because Sterling could not have played worse. I feel as if in the Leicester game, he gave Arteta almost no choice. Like if Sterling had played he'd just given us something in that Leicester game, I think we would have seen Sterling start. So yeah, man, this is just another case of players letting down Arteta and then Arteta compounding that with mistakes himself, man. So yeah, man, just a festival of errors, man.
Yeah. Mace, despite your injuries, especially in your attacking front, with like the second string attackers that you've got right now, do you still believe that you should have been a lot more closer to Liverpool than what you are right now? Or is this fair?
No, I think this is fair. I think the bigger worry for Arsenal is that this is not a title challenge. This is more of a top 4 challenge. I think that's the...
You think?
Question. Yeah.
Only if you drop points to Forest. I think...
This is the thing. You're going to play against the Forest, who are very good at
home. Forest.
So you have to really consider it because as Toast did touch on, and I agree with, the Leicester game was a red herring because really and truly that game was ending as a draw or defeat. That Lou Skelly chant or clearance was amazing from him, and it took 2 under 18s, under 17s to win that game for us. And that's how crazy it was. So I think we have a battle. The bigger issue, the bigger worry is that top 4 place, which I think we should be fine. But other teams with small blood, other teams have just realized, okay, this is how to play Arsenal because they're clearly missing a striker. They're not as strong as they claim to be. Because if you can't miss all these players without having some sort of attrition, having sort of issue with how you play. But for me, I just feel like the bigger problem is the chickens has come to roost for Arsenal. Really bad management. Boy. Yeah, really bad team management from Arsenal, and whoever decided. Okay, 2 points. Whoever decided, and I think it's that Jason dude. I don't even know his last name.
January.
Yeah. Whoever decided that it was a smart play not to buy anyone, and of course the media spun it as, Arsenal's higher up were very impressed with his decision to make decisions to make that call not to buy players, and they respected his bullshit. It's nonsense. I'm sure that we would have, and I'm going on a tangent here, and I accept. I'm sure that we would have benefited from Matthias Tell from Spurs. I'm sure that would have really helped us. Yeah, I get the Marmoush sign because Marmoush was City paid
very expensive
for that.
Yeah.
He was very expensive
to be honest.
But at least for Matthias Tell, get that loan deal done. It creates you have options. It's just it's a fireable offense, honestly, if I have to be honest. And I think Arteta won't get fired because this is my second point. I guess we all get lied to, and we believe the lies that we've been told. Maybe the truth is Arsenal just could not afford to buy players or buy the players which we wanted. I don't know. Maybe the fact is we shouldn't have bought Calafiori. We should have used that money to buy a striker or to buy someone else. I don't know. But I can tell you something. Calafiori has been involved in 2 of very important Arsenal goals. So I can let the Calafiori situation go. But then that leaves me with thinking, okay, why didn't we buy a striker? Why didn't we replace Vieira when he went to Porto? So essentially, that's why I said the chicken has come to roost in this situation, because we created this particular environment that we find ourselves in. And just to finish a point, this is why I'm very frustrated. This gives me the Leicester winning title season, where we had the opportunity to go again and invest in the team and push on and do something, but we failed again. Because we don't have the juggernauts of City chasing us down like we did last season with Liverpool in the title race and Liverpool falling off, and then we just City winning it. It's just Arsenal and City. And say if we had capable bodies, I think we'll be so much closer than where we are right now.
I definitely agree, man. I think the point that you made that this is a sackable offense, I think it's facts, to be honest, because even if you look at Liverpool, right, who are also extremely frugal spenders. Remember that season where we didn't lose our attackers, but we lost all of our starting centre backs. But even then, we still made signings. Ozan Kabak, that Davis Donny from Derby, for free. We still try to find ways to get not good signing, but just ways to get us over the line, to get us what was our target then? Champions League football at the bare minimum. You know what I mean? I think 2 seasons ago, where Sadio Mane and Salah went to AFCON. We bought Luis Diaz. You know what I mean? The season after that, I think we had injuries as well to our attacking front line. We bought Cody Gakpo. I don't think Cody Gakpo was part of our plans at all. I still maintain that, even though now he's performing well, but I don't think he was part of our plans. We paid 40 million for him in January. So what I'm saying is that obviously there is past, there's a reference point for Arsenal to look at what other teams have done in January and to try to fix their season somehow, some way. You know what I mean? And obviously with your defense being what it is, your midfield also being what it is, it's just having an extra attacking body, knowing that Saka's gone, knowing that Martinelli is gone. You went Dubai happened afterwards, but that Havertz was on his last leg. You have the data, you have everything. So they know that players are on their last legs, in it. It's gross misconduct, man. And I definitely agree with you guys there. In terms of quote unquote your excuse from January onwards, this is an excuse. I can agree with you guys on that, because it's I wouldn't accept it neither, man. It's fucked.
Yeah, man. Mace, you hit the nail on the head, didn't it, man? Obviously, I didn't really go into the transfer dealings in my soliloquy, but yeah, you kind of just wonder, like, almost as if just throughout the club from top down, like there's just a sense of, bro, I don't even know if it's arrogance, bro, because I honestly, I tried to put myself in Liverpool shoes in this title race in Jan. Like, what were Liverpool thinking when they saw that Arsenal did not make a signing, bro? They must have been thinking like, ball game, like it's a wrap after this. Like there's no way you can look at one of your competitors. They need to strengthen and they choose not to, bro. For me, that would have been a confidence boost for Liverpool, thinking Arsenal are really going to double down on this current squads. All right, watch what we do. Like, it is just, yeah, man. Gross misconduct is honestly the best way to put it, man. Because injuries can happen, and the saying it's like it's such a cliche of a saying, but if you fail to prepare to fail. Like, there's no situation where you see Gabriel Jesus go down injured as your second striker. So God forbid something happened to your first striker. We knew going into the window that Gabriel Jesus is done for the season. That means you absolutely have to get a body in. It doesn't even have to be an Alex Isak level, but there has to be a body. So what excuse do you have? Like, honestly, like at times like this, I honestly wonder, like, Arsenal sometimes, whether or not they have the money, bro, I don't care, bro. Whether or not you break financial fair play rules, I don't care, bro. Something has to be done. Forget the fact that you're running, bro.
There are cheaper alternatives.
Like, come on. Forget the fact that, oh, we want to be a sustainable club. We want to do things the right way. We don't want to break wage structure. I don't give a heck. You've not won the league in 21 years. City, your main rivals, are looking like a shell of themselves. And it's basically just you and Liverpool to the finish line. What are you going to do? And we did nothing. We may as well have just handed Liverpool the title now.
To make matters worse, next season it's been rumored the City is told Bernardo Silva, KDB, Jack Grealish, Gundogan, Kovacic, John Stones. They've said go find another club. So they're getting rid of all these players.
Next summer is going to be
rebuild,
scary.
man.
It's going to be
a
rebuild.
And they're
you can tell, man.
So yeah, Chelsea is not going to lay down there just chatting nonsense. They're going to be back. Aston Villa are going to be back because Villa realized that, okay, we're now acting like a big club, and we're attracting names, because I'm sure any player that Villa goes to speaks to next season, they will say, yeah, we have this guy playing for that guy playing for us. We have Unai Emery. It's going to get harder next season, and that's why I think it's a sackable offense. And that's why I think for me, that's my main gripe with Arsenal this season.
There's another thing as well, that obviously there's that, but I just want to switch gears because, like, it's one thing that you guys have been speaking about for almost 2 seasons now, that, your record against the big 6 teams, you're basically, I think you're still undefeated, right? Like, no one has beaten you yet for like 2 years, 18 games, sorry. But I saw like a stat earlier today, which is basically been your downfall for the past 2 years, where like your last 20 games against like Newcastle, Fulham, Villa, West Ham,
Brighton. Oh my God. Poverty.
4 wins, 5 draws, 11 losses. Mace, let me ask you this one. Does that cancel out your unbeaten streak against the top 6? And I'm asking this because, again, I'm referencing past episodes where I did tell you, I think I told you, Mace, I did tell you that beating each other is not the be or end all. Like, City won the league without beating Arsenal, without beating Liverpool last season. They didn't they lost against you guys. They drew twice against us. They lost against you guys and drew. Your record against these teams that like to play the mid block and hit you and match you with your bully ball tactics, that has been your downfall, really. So that's another side of it. How do you see it?
I agree. I think the fact speaks for itself in this situation. I do feel like these managers have clocked Arteta, especially Eddie Howe and Fulham for some bizarre reason. Like with say Newcastle would turn up for Arsenal, but they'll bend it over for Bournemouth, or it's frustrating. But you can see they've got our numbers. They just got our number. Fulham has got our number, and he took Marcus Silva one season, and boom, next season he had it. Bro, we can spend this whole episode talking about Arsenal and what went wrong.
No, but this is more a question about like Arteta in regards to him playing against mid-block teams and how he's not able to really be dominant against those particular teams.
You know what, man? You guys might disagree. I think Arteta is still very much inexperienced, and every league, every game he's learning. But it will come to a point with Arsenal where we have to look at whether Arteta is taking us as far as possible, and I think I said it. Next season is that's it. This season there's a lot of learnings and a lot of accepting certain things. By next season, that's it for Arteta, because I think he's had enough experience and enough learning to actually do something and bring home a trophy. And
so what's the aim now for the rest of the season? What's his aim?
The aim for the rest, he just has to hope that Saka, Martinelli comes back quickly, and he needs to bring that Odegaard into the office and have a heart.
I can tell you from last season's experience, that's not going to go well if you rush them, because that's what they
No. I agree. I'm just saying that's his hope, because it's very interesting that 1 year, the game against West Ham is an indication of where 1 year's development is. He does good against Leicester, and this is what happened to Saka. A lot of players catch him really quickly. You're a good player. Like if you look at that game, West Ham, the way they marked him, the aggression they showed against him, they basically marked him out of the game. So now your most creative player is a 17-year-old with no experience. He's in trouble. Now you're expecting someone like Odegaard to step up. Odegaard hasn't stepped up, isn't stepping up. He's in trouble. So he needs to bring in because in games like West Ham, let's go back to days of Fabregas. We might not have a striker, but you know what Fabregas is gonna do? He's gonna pull the team. He's gonna do something. We're winning. You understand? So that's what I expect from my captain.
Levels, man.
That's what I expect from my captain, and he isn't doing that. And
I do think. Sorry to cut in, but I do think like. I don't know, man. I'm an outsider in it, but you guys are being you're not being harsh, because it's totally fair that this season he's been whack, especially coming back after the injury. He's not been his usual self, but I think there should be small grace given to Odegaard, man, because
listen, I agree with you. I agree with you on that part, that there has to be small grace, because I can accept that players are not machines, right? So there's certain seasons where they will have a downgrade in form. I accept it, but with great risk, like what's it called? A great thing calls great responsibility. As a captain, like it's different.
Yeah, it's
different. And one thing I said when watching the game on Saturday was, when you say things, you mutter things to yourself. I said, Odegaard has lost that edge. It's just like subconsciously he's lost the edge, and you can see it. He's lost it. That edge is gone. And it's the West Ham games where you need your captain to do something for you, and that he wasn't there. So that's Arteta's issue. The players, and to be fair, they for what they've done with the seasons we've had, you have to give it to them. But the issue is this season can go really badly from now on. That's basically how the reality is. It can go really badly from there, and it turns into a disaster season. So
so what you're saying is that, top four, you're in a top four battle. I think you still need to play the game against Forest. But even if you beat Forest,
If we are like 3 or 4 points, or 3 or 4 points
You're 6 points
in
ahead
front
of
of
them.
them. Yeah,
6.
so 3 points in front of. Then we have to play Chelsea. We have to play this. We have to play that. Like, it's not going to, like, with
It's not a foregone
the
conclusion.
with the personnel we have, with that Sterling doing whatever he's doing, it's crazy. It's not. There's nothing guaranteed. So that's why I'm saying he has to beg and pray that Martinelli and Saka. Saka is obviously a special case. At least Martinelli. One thing I'll give it to Toast, and then we move on from him. One thing I realized against that West Ham game is that we lack pace. The pace killed us. So one thing Martinelli will give you is some pace, and we lack that. So he has to hope and pray that Martinelli comes back as quick as possible. But it's a hamstring injury. You have to be running full speed with that muscle. So he needs to give it time. So, bro, we are in purgatory right now. That's where we are. And I hope we leave soon. Toast.
I think what I just kind of want to say is I think these last 12 games could definitely be difficult if teams actually clock onto how like emaciated we are up front, and teams actually play like use that to their own advantage in these games. If they don't give Arsenal the usual respect that you would give Arsenal, teams will actually come at us and say, you know what, these guys probably won't score more than 1 or 2 goals here. So if we kind of really give them a game, we could get a result here. And I see, unless a miracle happens with our attack and obviously get our players back, I see a lot of these next couple of games really being a slogfest, man, because we're just not capable of scoring at the clip that we were earlier on in the season. 2 final points, obviously, before we move on. The Odegaard point, I'm definitely not jumping ship. Obviously, I've said in the VARBAR group chat that an investigation kind of needs to be had, because 2 seasons ago, this guy had 15 non-penalty goals. And Odegaard is not like a known goal scorer, but he plays the cam position for a team like Arsenal. You would expect that's the sort of output he's supposed to be giving you. Like, the only time Odegaard takes a shot is when he's like 2 yards away from another defender. All of his shots just get blocked. It's almost like, okay, I'm just going to shoot as a last resort. Like, I never have any kind of hope that any of his shots are going to go in. And my issue is him as a captain. There was a lot of debate for years and years about, who's Arsenal's best player? Who's the world-class player in Arsenal squad? I think we can clearly see now that Saka is by far and large what was actually keeping us competitive and keeping us relevant from an attacking standpoint. Odegaard, unfortunately, as a cam, has proved himself to be only as good as what's around him. And when what's around him isn't good, he can't cook. Like, I think we can make that abundantly clear. And I don't want to go as far as to say as Saka has made Odegaard's career, but there may be a case to say that Saka has made Odegaard look very, very good, because when one of our best and senior players has been putting up the performances in the last couple of weeks that I've been seeing, it's scary stuff, man. And my final point really is, as much as we kind of need our Martinelli's back and we need Saka back, and obviously I don't love Havertz, but we need him back as a 9, as a body. My concern is now we get those boys back, we finish second, we finish the season strong, and then we repeat the same bullshit. We go again next season and we don't really make the adjustments that we need to make in the transfer market. We keep largely the same squad. My issue is we had this more or less the same front 3 2 or 3 seasons ago, obviously bar Havertz. And I was looking at the table like 2 seasons ago. We finished 17 points above Liverpool. And then last season, we finished 7 points above Liverpool. And this season now, they're 11 points ahead of us. And we have kept the same players. And my concern now is we can see just year on year how we're getting worse. I can't say with any certainty that we won't go ahead with the same starting 3 next August, bro. And for me, that's a problem. That is a problem. I can see Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka still starting in August next season. And this is what we do. We're always one man off. When we have the striker that we need, we don't have the midfield and we don't have the defense. When we have the defense that we think that we need, we don't have the attackers. Like, it's just we're always just behind the curve in some way, man. Like, it's just, yeah, man. Just disappointment, man.
All right, man. Let's move on to the other team then in this particular race, which is Liverpool, who were the big winners. I mean, not only just Arsenal lost, but everyone else behind them as well. Forest lost. They beat City, of course. Newcastle won. Bournemouth lost as well, I think. Did they lose or did they draw? They lost. They lost, right? Yeah, they
Wolves
lost
lost
against
1-0
Wolves.
1-0 to Wolves, man. Yeah.
So, sorry. Liverpool, flying high at the moment. But Toast, let me stay with you, man. Was there a bit of an underestimation of Arne Slot, but not just him and this Liverpool team? Because at the start of the season, you were talking wicked. And you alluded to it earlier, saying that you had the same front three. You finished 20 plus points in front of Liverpool, 7 points in front of Liverpool last season. Now you're 11 points behind. At that time, when you made those claims, we were 9 points ahead of you then. So was there a bit of an underestimation? You don't want to apologize to me, but can you admit it then at least? Because I need my apology.
For me, apologies aren't necessary only because like football is obviously very dynamic. Lots of things kind of change. People have opinions. Like I said, your opinions can change when you're presented with new information. So as long as you're willing to kind of accept that,
not the way you were talking,
But having said that, I want to give Liverpool and I want to give Slot their credit and their flowers. They absolutely deserve it, man. Because honestly, like for me, the first 10 games of the season didn't move me. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, yeah, Liverpool are a good team. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool were in a title race up until April last year. So for me, it was like, this isn't nothing that I didn't see last season. Do you understand? And I don't think it was unfair. And I know you guys disagreed, but just based on what I saw last season, I don't think it was unfair at that time to say that. Having said that, I have now seen the clear difference between Klopp and between Slot. And not every manager can obviously get his system and the way he wants to play out to the players, because we have to keep it a buck now. This is largely the same team from last year. So it was very, very possible that if Slot didn't have his impact, we could have seen some of the same things. But we're seeing a more solid Liverpool team. We're seeing a team that while they play good football, it's not a roller coaster. Like Liverpool's defense have been a lot more solid this year. I got to give Konate, I got to give Van Dijk his credit. From top to bottom, man. Gravenberch had a breakout year. Mac 10, another great year in his second year. And then obviously the cherry on top has obviously just been Mo Salah, who is obviously just absolutely played out of his skin. Like I got to give Liverpool credit. Like they have been by and large the most consistent and the best team in the league, and they deserve everything that's going to come to them, like come May. Okay. So
one last thing. I mean, like obviously you said that obviously opinions can change and everything, but were you wrong?
Was I wrong about what? No. But about what exactly though? Because before I just start wheeling off, am I right? Am I wrong? What was I wrong about?
Wrong? First of all, were you wrong about my team?
Yeah,
being the third best out of the City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's first.
Was I wrong? Yeah. I was wrong about that.
Fine. Were you wrong about Slot not being able to use this same crop of players? I finished 7 points behind. I fell off a cliff, in your words. And do
I underestimated Klopp's. I underestimated Slot's ability to get the best out of this Liverpool, this group of Liverpool players. 100%. I did.
All right,
I did.
That's enough.
All right.
We'll continue as the weeks progress. But yeah, just quickly talking about yesterday's game, man. Against City. Obviously, it's a place that we haven't won since 2015 in the league. Gave them work in the Champions League, but in the league we haven't beaten them. We haven't even kept a clean sheet since 2010. So obviously, going into the game after Wednesday, there were nerves from the Liverpool camp because we knew now the context of Arsenal playing West Ham, Arsenal, their game in hand, Arsenal possibly smelling blood because we dropped points against Villa. So there were nerves coming into the game. After the final whistle of the West Ham Arsenal game, I know you guys saw it as well, but the fan base was smoking a cigar basically, knowing that if we lose, if we drop points, whatever, the gap will still at least remain 8 points, whatever happens in that Chelsea game, innit? So it was a free hit for us. And that's what the media build it up. That's what the fan base build it up. That's how everyone build it up. The game now. We see the lineup. I see no Jota. I see no Nunez. I'm like, what is this gaffer doing? Is he using Luis Diaz in the 9 again? Because that's my only gripe with Slot. Like, I know he scored a hat-trick against Leverkusen in the 9 position, but since then it has not worked. We have to be honest. Diaz in the 9 has not worked. Slot, don't do it. But he went for Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai rotating false 9s and Luis Diaz. Good. Wide. I was like, okay, cool. The start of the game, I'm seeing Liverpool playing a mid-block. I've not seen Slot play that in RZ days, Kambulewa days. I've not seen him play like this. What is this Donny doing? And this is what I was discussing with you guys last week with Toaster Strizza, with Amorim and what's his name? And Postecoglou. If performances are not going good, if you're not getting the results that you want, adapt. You don't have to sacrifice the way you play. Adapt, bro. Adapt. The way we played was, for Liverpool standards in the past couple of years, extremely pragmatic, but it was extremely effective. We nullified City to the max. Yes, they had the ball. Yes, they tried to attack us. Their XG was 0.05, bro. You know what I mean? So in my feeling as well, I felt like we could have scored way more goals, at least 2 more goals. That's how it felt the game went. So I have to give Slot his credit for yesterday's game, man, because he thought, yo, we're not playing well. I need to find a way to get, 1, a good performance, 2, to get a result against City, who's looking like they're getting their joy back. He did exactly what he had to do. And he got the result, which is the most important part, because if you don't get the result, you're gonna get at it. He got the result and it looked comfortable, man. So I was extremely happy with that performance. Extremely happy with some of the, Konate had a good performance. Everyone actually, bar obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was getting spun by Doku. Obviously, we've seen all the stats going on. But obviously, Doku, he didn't do anything with it. So it's kind of like, meh. But it's poor, being dribbled past 11 times. It's so poor from Trent. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I don't care what anyone says, man. But Shalom, man. Obviously, you've had your opinions about Mo Salah. Obviously, you've always rated him. You've always put respect on his name. You said that the main difference between both of our teams is Mo Salah. Yeah. And I think maybe for the first time, I want to agree, because there's only so many games that a player can do goal and assist every game that you're gonna be like, these other Donnies are pulling their weight. Yes, they're pulling their weight, getting on the end of the assist of Mo Salah's, but fam, give my Donny his flowers, man.
What do you mean? I've given him his flowers. I always give Salah his flowers. There's nothing else I can say to that effect. He's a GOAT of the Premier League. And he's gonna win the league for you, man. Without Salah in that team, I wonder how Liverpool would have turned out this season. But it's a different conversation to be had, because I think he's the difference maker. And that's it. If you want a player who is cold in front of goal, who would do it, who doesn't care, what nerves? That's Salah. And yeah, you guys are lucky to have him.
Let me read some of the things that he's broken in that City game alone, right? So he's the first player in the Premier League history to register 40+ goal involvements in 2 different seasons. So that's this season and that's his debut season. He's the first player in Europe's top 5 leagues to be directly involved in 50 goals across all competitions. So he's got 50 goals and assists in all comps, and we're in February.
Yeah,
he has now scored and assisted in 11 Premier League games. I just mentioned that. The most by any player in a single season in one of Europe's big leagues since Lionel Messi in 2014-15. Salah has provided more assists in 24-25 than any other Liverpool player. So even Steven Gerrard has never managed to have more than 15 assists. Xabi Alonso, that man, never managed to have more than 15 assists basically in a single season. He's the first player in the Premier League history to score and assist in both games against a reigning champion. He's the first player to score 25 plus goals and register 15 plus assists in a Premier League season. So obviously, Henry did 2020, but he scored 24 goals. So Salah scored one more goal. So I got two questions. My first question is, which Salah do you guys prefer? His debut season or this version? Because this is a huge topic amongst Liverpool fans.
I mean, there's
Context,
a very good chance.
It's context. It's context.
For me, I think it's quite easy, and it's not even a recency bias thing. I'm gonna say this season purely for the fact that he has almost single-handedly, and this is not, I'm not shading like Liverpool and everyone else, but he's almost single-handedly fired you to the title, because you go into the game and it's almost like Salah's leaving with something. Like whatever happens, whether or not the team plays well or bad, Salah's leaving with something, and he has just been like, I feel as if sometimes we give out superlatives and say things like, oh, our players are a machine and this, that, almost too recklessly at times. Like Salah has been a machine this season, like 25 goals and 16 assists, and we are in what, game week 26? Game week. Yeah. Like guys, what are we doing here? Like that is incredible. That's 41 Premier League goal involvements in
for
about
a as well. Because if you
winger.
check Salah's heat map, yeah, people want to be like, Salah's not a winger, he's an inside forward, or like, what they say, he's a striker. Check the Donny's heat map, bro. He's only on the right-hand side, bro. He's not central. He's not left. His heat map is only on this side, brother. He operates from the right and scores all these goals, and it's unheard of.
I think what's one of the craziest things about the assists is it's not a case of he's like dribbling 4-man and then he's laying the ball off, but the majority of his assists are him just having efficient actions every time. Yeah. Like literally, he just puts it into someone, into a position, bang, go have at it, go and score, bro. Like the Zobolai one, for instance. All Zobolai had to do was take a touch, chop it onto his left foot, goal. Like everything Salah's done this season has just been efficiency. Forget all of the step overs, forget all of the dribbles, bruv, I'm here to score goals and I'm here to assist and I'm here to win games, bro. And it's been unbelievable, man. It's been machine-like, because honestly, to average a goal or assist a game is fucking amazing. Let's say you've got 26 goals and assists in 26 games. We're talking about 41 in 20. Like, brother, like this is an all-time season, and on the cherry on top, you're putting yourself in contention for Ballon d'Or. You're putting yourself in contention for Golden Boot. You're putting yourself in contention for Player of the Year. You're putting yourself in contention for a second league title. Like for me, just all the narratives around this season, man. For me, this season is just, it's like, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, man. It's like, bruv, this, yeah, man. I honestly, I'm lost for words, man. Genuinely.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. I have to agree now, because obviously, you know, as Liverpool fans, we want to be like, no, it's not just Mo Salah, and you know, the narrative of like, if you remove Mo Salah, then Liverpool would be nowhere. But
the team has been brilliant. Yeah,
the team has been brilliant, but you have to give credit to your difference maker. We've had that in history as well. Henry for your invincible season, Van Persie for United, KDB, Aguero for. Now, I mean, we've had this as well in it, but to this magnitude, what Salah's doing, yeah, for sure, man, 100%, man.
Hazard as well, yeah.
Hazard as well.
Winning seasons was
and them league winning seasons. So there's always been a player that's been moving mad, in it, and
Jamie.
Now it's his time, man.
He was good.
Yeah, him and Mahrez, man.
Him and Mahrez, yeah. So it happens, man. And I think, as Liverpool fans, we just need to accept, man. Maybe if Salah wasn't there, not that the season would be scary, but I don't know where we would have been in it. I don't know who would have taken up that mantle. It's not Nunez. Shout out Jota, but it's not Jota. I mean, so it would have looked different.
Question for you, Andy, real quick. Obviously, I mean, let's not jinx anything, but obviously you got champions elect in your bio right now. Obviously, you're feeling yourself. I mean, let's say Liverpool obviously go on to win the league. Which one for you is sweeter? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, the first one, that was your first ever Premier League title. Obviously, you've won first divisions and whatnot, but in your lifetime, first Premier League title, was it 26 wins out of 27? You smoked the league, wasn't even close. COVID year, everything was going on. Or this season where Salah is having just an unbelievable year. You finally kind of got over the hump, over City finally. Like, which one for you would be the sweeter Premier League?
Yeah, it's a very hard question. Again, I've discussed this. It's a very hard question, man, because the first one is the first one. After years of or childhood of people atting you, never won the Prem, even though you're the most successful British team, it's still not enough. that's what's the annoying thing. You know what I mean? So to get the first one, obviously that was sweet. I don't care about a COVID thing. I really don't care, innit? But I think this one is sweet in different ways, man. For me personally, it's more like a not justified. What's the word? Like
redemption or what
redemption? More like I feel maybe justified is the word, but I'm looking for another word. I feel justified, specifically because, like, obviously Klopp left, Slot came in. I was a huge advocate for Slot even before Klopp announced that he was going to leave. I was like, this is my next manager. He done the same with my club in the Netherlands. The exact same, bro. Came in, won the league. We ain't seen the league in years, bro. He came and smoked everyone with a tiny budget. You know what I mean? So I knew he's the one to take over from Klopp, and for him to like come and win the league. Obviously, the whole narrative with Arsenal that we've been having for the past couple of years as well. That's kind of adding to the sweetness of this. The manner is adding to the sweetness of this. So I think this one is different, man. I think this one will be definitely enjoyed as well. I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle, man. Some people say the first one, some people say this one. I'm in the middle, man. But
you never forget the first one, man.
I will enjoy this one. Just know that I will enjoy this one, Toast and Mace.
Nah,
bye.
You deserve to. You deserve to, man. You deserve to, honestly. And hey, man,
I
Mace.
think we're 90% there. To be honest, I think Wednesday's games will all but confirm it. I don't see you guys picking up a win against Forest, if I have to be honest. But we need to beat Newcastle. I think if we beat Newcastle and you guys drop points, done. Like officially done. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Mace, Toast, anything?
Hey,
it's honestly, Mace, it's just like it's. What can you even say? What can you even say?
The life of an Arsenal fan is going through lots of shit, then thinking you have a year, and then we self-destruct. And as a fan, especially an Arsenal fan, you start the season with a shooting yourself with hopium. You know, that hopium hits your very veins, and it comes, then it hits you. Then you hit that hopium December, January, Feb. It starts to look a bit bleak, and then you hit again with some copium, and that's the circle of an Arsenal fan, and that's where I am right now. I'm just trying to cope. You just have to accept. Yeah, you just have to accept it for what it is, and yeah. Congrats, Liverpool. I don't see us mounting a title challenge. The league is done. I said the league was done when we didn't buy anyone, and yeah, that's just how it is. Sad.
All right, man.
State of affairs.
Yeah, man. For some at least, man. Let's move on. Let's move on.
As old as time itself, man.
Let's move on, man. Because obviously there's one competition that you guys are also doing, which is
Let's move on, man. Let's move on.
Which is the Champions League. I just wanted to discuss obviously the results. Obviously one of the huge results was Feyenoord beating AC Milan on aggregate. I think 2-1 on aggregate, getting a 1-0 result at the San Siro. I know that at AC Milan they're not any good so far, but obviously on paper they still have very good players. They took Feyenoord star striker Jimenez, and obviously still couldn't muster up, beating them over 2 legs. Whereas Feyenoord, on the other hand, injury ridden, like literally bare bones, bro, and boom, they managed to get it. Obviously they'll meet Inter Milan in the next round, so that will be a different prospect. But one of you man's goats. I don't know if you guys call him goat, but Robin van Persie has been announced as a new Feyenoord manager, following up from Brian Prischke. So that's interesting. So yeah, let's see how he will do. Club Brugge, Belgian side, beat Atalanta over 2 legs as well, which hasn't happened in a very long time, that they've been beaten twice in 2 legs. So that's been a huge coup as well. Club Brugge, they're the ultimate, what do you call it, counter-attacking team. They got shooters up front. Quick. So yeah, that's a team to look out for, man. Bayern Munich, Celtic, yeah, skin of their teeth. Vincent Kompany, I know he's gonna win the league, but kind of looked out of his depth. Benfica qualified, Borussia Dortmund qualified, PSV beat Juventus over 2 legs as well. So they're in the next round. Paris Saint-Germain against Brest, 7-0. City lost to Real Madrid, of course. That kind of was a foregone. That was an Mbappe hat-trick as well, right? That game,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mbappe hat-trick, the kid. Real Madrid, we all know, man. Right on 4, man. So, yeah, that brought us to this, man. Obviously, the round of 16 draw. So, despite Liverpool's brilliance in the Champions League, finishing top, losing once, conceding twice, all of that, we still managed to get one of the hardest draws in getting PSG. But that's just because PSG were moving shit. So, we're facing PSG over 2 legs. Club Brugge, Aston Villa are facing each other. Madrid derby. PSV against Arsenal. Feyenoord against Inter. German derby. Leverkusen against Bayern Munich. Dortmund against Lille. Benfica against Barca. In regards to Arsenal, PSV. Obviously on paper, PSV, Arsenal, you know, even with your injuries, I will say, you know, Arsenal should go through. However, don't underestimate this PSV team. I think you guys played them last season, right? And they beat you in Eindhoven, yeah. So how do you guys see it? Yeah, they beat you. You drew.
Yeah,
Either you drew or they beat you.
We drew. I think they beat us in the Europa League, over PSV or Feyenoord. I think if PSV, they beat us Europa League, but we drew.
Okay.
And then we beat them 4-0 at the Emirates. Yeah.
Correct. So
yeah.
With your current situation, are you gonna go through this?
I think we should, but I'm not too sure. But one thing that does give me hope is just it's a different format. It's a Champions League, so just generally players are much more up for the Champions League, and that feeling of we can do that tournament feeling. There's something about a tournament feeling that kicks in when you play that football, and you just feel like, okay, I can do it over 2 legs. What we don't want to do in that situation is because we're playing away to them, and we
away first, and then in the Emirates.
Well, away first, exactly. So what we have to do is go away and take a win from that. And then come back home and get it done. But I feel like it's going to be a slugfest. I just feel like it's going to just be a slugfest of us defending for our lives away. That's what I just imagine that game. It's just going to be defending, trying to hit on the counter attack with Raheem Sterling, and then he trips over his legs and the ball goes out. That's basically what's going to happen. And
that's funny. But it's funny because, like, say if you win that tie, it's one of the Madrid teams.
Play Madrid, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first leg's on the 4th of March. It's in a couple of weeks' time. Next week. I'm fairly confident that Arsenal lose the tie, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And not even like I said, man. Like, what is the Champions League about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's about quality. Do you know what I mean? And right now, I don't feel as if we're displaying enough quality offensively, nor defending well enough on a consistent basis for us to kind of like trust that we won't concede goals to get through over these 2 legs. Like I was really impressed by PSV over these 2 legs against Juventus, man. Like, and well done to them for getting through. I don't think Juventus are a bad team at all. they're going to come in with confidence just based on that tie. They're going to come in knowing that Arsenal do not have their front three attackers, so they're going to have every belief that they can win. We're not defending well enough, so there's no part of the field right now that gives me confidence that we're going to be the better team over the two legs. So yeah, man, I think it's going to be a very difficult time, man. And I think respectfully, with a full team, like our full front three, I think we beat PSV like pretty relatively comfortably. But the way we are right now, I think we need to get out of this idea that we are the Arsenal. Like bro, we're not at full strength, and we need to accept that, and that's okay, man. Like, so yeah, man, definitely a tie that I'm very nervous about. Yeah, man. And if we are going to kind of progress in this tournament, we need our best players back desperately, man. Because at this point, Champions League's the only thing that's going to save our season, man. So
I was going to say, at least our keeper is fast. That's one thing I realized against that West Ham game.
Yeah, man. That was actually
James Ward-Prowse. Shame on you.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse was
man.
fighting for his life. But yeah, man. Yeah. Obviously, Liverpool, PSG. Yeah. I'd rather, because we could have faced PSG or Benfica. Barcelona got the nice end of the stick, man. They got the nice side. They'll probably reach the final with the way they played. PSG is going to be, I think it's going to be difficult. I think people are saying PSG, Liverpool got to get through that easy. No, hell no. Like, if you've seen PSG lately, obviously them boosts that me and you are going back and forth about Toast, he's suddenly finding form and clicking into gear. And not just that, but I've seen a few PSG games, to be fair, even in their competition. He's taking that responsibility. Mbappe has left, Messi and them man has left. He's okay. I'm that guy now, and you can see that in his play as well. Know what I mean? But not just him. They got Kvaratskhelia. They play with a front three of Kvaratskhelia, then Bele as a false nine, Barcode on the left hand side.
Yeah.
What's Liverpool's weakness? Left back, right back. We're getting smoked if we're not careful. Know what I mean? So I'm very happy that we're away first, so that at Anfield we can quote unquote do the job or work miracles, i.e. the Barca tie. But let's see, man. It's going to be difficult. And then after that, in the quarterfinals, Club Brugge or Aston Villa, over two legs, I'm pretty confident in regards to those two teams. But semi-finals, it can be the Madrid teams or Arsenal. You know what I mean? So yeah, that side, it's going to be difficult, man. So yeah, let's see what happens.
The prospect of losing to Liverpool twice, this season, the league and Champions League, that would certain Arsenal fans will jump in the river for Thames, man. Hey, man, it'll get long. I can't lie, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. But we'll touch on that next week, of course, man. Yeah, let's head over to the bar, man. If you guys have any shots, I can start. I have a shot. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have a shot. Because I don't think you guys have any. Especially looking at Shalom. He's sober as fuck over there.
It's dry over here, bro. It's dry as a desert.
Nah. Obviously, shout out Liverpool, shout out Arda Slot, shout out Van Dijk, Salah, whoever, anyone, all of them. But my shot specifically goes out to Micah Richards and Daniel Sturridge, man. Because, as far as I'm aware, they're Jamaicans, right? Micah Richards. Is he Jamaican or is he African? I think
he's definitely Caribbean.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah,
Caribbean, yeah.
And Sturridge as well. So,
like the way they nipped whatever nonsense Jamie Carragher tried to spray about Salah and his chances to win the Ballon d'Or. Like, just to keep it short, he tried to skate around the fact that they asked the Donny asked him the question about like, can Salah win the Ballon d'Or? And Jamie Carragher tried to, he tries to talk and try to argue the fact that the other players, they have like big European competitions to play for. That obviously accounts for, the standings or the rankings for the Ballon d'Or. He's talking about Copa America and the Euros, of course. Completely dismissing AFCON and Egypt and the huge Africa tournament that Salah is involved in as well. He played in the final. I remember when Senegal won, Mane was second in the Ballon d'Or rankings. He finished second, bro. So the AFCON holds weight, you know what I mean? So it has a huge bearing on where you finish. If you have a good club season going alongside it as well, to not acknowledge that and then to scoff at the man then whenever they try to correct you, it was just like, it pissed me off. And it was funny because I was speaking to like Nevin and Kenna earlier that day about Jamie Carragher and him as a pundit. Just white pundits in general in comparison to their black counterparts. Like the black pundits, they're very much more about the player. They're very careful about what they say. They're not trying to what do you call it? Bash players, for example, but more offer constructive criticism. Whereas the white pundits, you know what I mean, they just want to do it for the ratings, for the views. And obviously, I'm there's more of them, but I'm looking at Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher specifically. Gary Neville, why people don't hate Gary Neville per se is because this guy, he was part of the winning machine. Fergie, you know, he was the first choice right back for whatever you want to say. He was the first choice right back for all the Premier Leagues that they won. Even though, you know, you can argue if he was a good right back or not. Jamie Carragher, first of all, yes, you have 9 major honours, but he was not a good centre back. You're not even top 8 centre backs in Liverpool. Like me, Carragher is not my GOAT. Longevity doesn't mean you're a GOAT. And that's why it irks people whenever Carragher says something about that, because like they look at Carragher like, who were you?
You weren't even levels like that, bro. Trust me.
Exactly. At least Gary Neville, there's not much smoke around Gary Neville because you know what I mean. He's got the titles. He's got the accolades. Go on.
Let me step in here quickly on
that
point. On that point about AFCON, etc. What's the difference between Mo Salah now and his career and say George Weah? In your opinion, is there a difference in regards to what they've accomplished? George Weah won the Ballon d'Or, 1995?
Yeah.
And it's not like there hasn't been any African players.
He lost the Champions League final.
Exactly.
In that year, so he didn't even win the Champions League. He lost the Champions League final.
It's not like you could say that at least when Carragher made that remark, there hasn't been any frame of reference, any precedent.
Exactly.
But there's a clear frame of reference here with George Weah. So I don't see any now. I don't see any difference.
I saw people on social media even like I saw black people even like saying that Jamie Carragher was right. AFCON is not huge. You know, FIFA needs to promote AFCON a bit more, bro. The governing body in Africa needs to promote AFCON, bro. And they're trying to compare it to Asia Cup, and no one regards Asia Cup. All due respect to the Asian players and Asia, whatever, but Africa football has contributed way more to football, bro. I don't even want to say it's equal footing to South America, but we've contributed to football way more than Asia, at least. Go on, Toy. Sorry.
Nah, man. Man. The comment pissed me off from the start. It was the way he just like doubled down on it. Like for me, it was a very flippant comment, and again, I think I know what Jamie Carragher is in it, man. Because and I'm not saying anything, but and I'm not saying he is or he isn't something, but for me, that was a very racially charged comment, in it. I didn't really see that angle, like the way you can just say with your chest that Salah's not played any major international tournaments. Like the AFCON is what are we doing here? Like the AFCON is made up of a number of players from the best leagues in the world. Like, and let's keep it a buck now. Fair enough, fine. Maybe not all African teams are great, but I would go as far as to say that there are as many solid African teams in the AFCON as there are solid teams in the Copa America, bro, and in Europe as well, bro. So if you're gonna just dismiss off AFCON, but then not hold the same energy for the other tournaments, there's no real logic and basis behind it. Like, and again,
other than.
No. His comments exposed him. His comments exposed what he feels.
You're showing yourself, man, because the comment doesn't make sense. Like, there's no basis for it. So, yeah, very disappointing comment. And you love to see Micah Richards and Daniel Sturridge tell him, "Big man, like you got this one wrong." So,
100%, man. Shout out them, man. Like, I really love the way they did it as well. Like, just Michael Richards even cut him off, like, yo,
Mm.
respect AFCON in it, and like they're not even Africans in it, so even that made me even like appreciate it a lot more, man. So yeah, man, my shot goes to Daniel Sturridge and Michael Richards for sure. If my boys don't have any shots, then we will call it an episode, man.
Sober one till May for me, man. Just my J2Os, man, in the corner. So yeah, man, I'm straight, man.
All right, man. Obviously, like, subscribe, share as always. Obviously, our 5-year anniversary. Sorry that we couldn't do it on the actual day, but we promise that we'll get our ad-based stuff sorted. We'll get on it, and obviously on our 6-year anniversary, we'll do something. We'll do something nice, man. But my name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. J to the Mace, Chocolate Boy Tea Toast. Thank you very much for joining us. We are the VBP boys, and we out. Peace.
Peace.
Big number 5, no Thomas Partey, man. Let's get it, man.